Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of Wrestling Gold Friday Night. Let's see. Uh-oh. Hello, everybody. Sorry about this. Making sure everything's kind of doing what it's supposed to right now. Uh, I'm behind or they're behind. Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome to Wrestling Gold Friday Night. I am Ronald Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent. Hopefully, everybody's having a good Friday so far, or good Friday. Yeah, starting off a little slow tonight. Everything's kind of confused me. Looks like everything's kind of buffering and kind of behind, and not sure how it's really relating to. It could be just on your everything's kind of everything. Anyway, like I said, welcome to Wrestling Gold Friday Night. I am Ronald Ray, your boy with the cornbread accent. Hopefully everybody had a good Friday. Hopefully everybody who had to work all week is off the weekend. Hopefully, and to the people who are working Saturday. Hello, Karen Poole. Everything, every oh, excuse me. I have a mute button somewhere, but I just don't know where it is. There it is. But I'm scared to press it and lose everything. Hello, Karen Poole. By the way, can you see me and hear me okay? Is everything coming out good on your end? Awesome. So anyway, yeah, sorry for that awkward moment. But anyway, yeah, for of course you know how we for every day, open a cold one. This is very close. Speaking of cold, I am a little chilly in here. I have to get the hoodie out a little bit. That's what happened. Like, it could be just me because that's what happens when you spend the last 3 weekends with no AC and finally get the AC fixed. So, actually, it was fixed Monday, and I came home uh, Wednesday night, and I didn't realize till last night it was on like 70. So I was like, I know it's fixed. It's a little cool in here, but I got the. I checked it out. I was like, oh, I need a. Actually, it's on like 75, so I dropped it down. But anyway, cheers to all those hard-working men and women who worked all week, and cheers for all you men and women who are having to work the weekend. We do appreciate you. Cheers. Oh yeah, cheers to my HVAC. Well, it wasn't mine. It's the realty company I pay money to pay rent. Kind of hard to call them a landlord. I have my reasons for that. But anyway, cheers to all those people. But anyway, the people that they finally fixed it. Only took them 3 weeks. And a lot of baboozle or whatever, however you want to call it. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, so happy that's there. I'm trying not to waste too much time because I don't want everything to crash. But make it short and sweet. Next month, actually, is it? I think it's the second week in June. I'll be doing a new project in Rockmart, Georgia. So, um, so not sure how the schedule's going to be as far as me coming home on Fridays, or if I even do get to come home on Fridays. So I might be when I do come home on Fridays, I might be a little late. So therefore, uh, the Friday stream, Wrestling Gold Friday night, might start a little later, roughly about 9, kind of like what we did when I was in Lake Park. I think I had to start that a little late for at least a couple weeks. But 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 for those of you who live in Georgia, you'll definitely understand this. I'm going from Rockmart, Georgia, which is n oh, almost I think it's close to Rome and all that, so way up I-75. So I gotta go I-75 south, either go stay on I-75, uh, south to Atlanta, then 85 north, or I gotta go to I-285 to I-85 north and head up. So, if anybody basically, I'm 285 circles around Atlanta, and Fridays, it's all basically baseball season. Not Coolray Field. Truett Fields is right there. So if there's a ball game on Friday, yeah, I'll be sitting in traffic for a while. So there might be some weeks where maybe I can find a back roads, but uh, even then, there's a few. I might have to go through like Canton, Dawsonville, Gainesville, and those be pretty um, congested areas as well, especially on Friday. So going to do my best I can to make it here and start at 8 o'clock, but there might be times where I might be starting at 9 o'clock. So bear with me on that. And let me do this real quickly. Uh, it's in the contract. Got to do this. If you're watching this live on Facebook or YouTube, hit me up in the comments. Talk about anything I uh, talk about tonight. Bring up some memories, or just be friendly and say hello, like Aaron Poole did, waving. Uh, got to do it yesterday, and I forgot the date again, but was it August, September? Karen Poole and myself will be doing a live stream of the Georgia Alabama game. It will be Facebook exclusive on her Facebook. So September 27th. I'll guess what? Hey, got one of these. I know I got one of these for a reason. Let me write it down with a pencil that will write. So September 27th, uh, Dogs and Tide. We'll be doing the live stream of that game, talking about it. So get prepared for that one. Is there anything? Oh yeah. So go back to my thing. If you're watching, say hello. Click that thumbs up button or the like button or on Facebook. Uh, that way, that'll help me out. I almost screwed up Facebook Live. I'll talk about that later. I have time. Also, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, go to go to YouTube, search my channel, or click on the link I have on all my videos. I put out. Click on one of those, watch it, click that subscribe button. It's definitely helpful as well as I continue to build this my channel up. And the Facebook, anybody on YouTube, on Facebook, follow me. That would be cool as well. That way, because I usually announce when any new content is out and available to watch. So that's definitely helpful on that part. All right, did I get everything? Like I said, I'm trying to not really trying to rush it, but I kind of because last night, yes, I know I'm still babbling, but I beat a hasty retreat last night when I noticed things were starting to kind of drop. and uh, buffer a lot. And basically, by the time I said goodbye, everybody have a good one, take it easy, and all that good shit. Uh, it did crash, so or it did cut off and come back on. Which one? So anything. Anyway, that being said, let's fork and go. Of course, we start off every Wrestling Gold Friday night talking about the history of professional wrestling, back when wrestling was wrestling, because damn it, it is still real to us. We talk about the history, of course, or this, today in wrestling history. Of course, today is May 9th, year of our Lord, 2025. But on this day in 19 back on this day in 1971, Tatsumi Fujinami makes his pro wrestling debut for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Back on this date in 1975, in a title versus title match, the BWF World Champion Giant Baba battles WWF Champion Bruno Sammartino to a draw in Tokyo at the Nippon University Hall. Attendance was 2,500. It kind of interesting back in that day. Uh, I've seen a few of these pop up, and I think I watched the old Georgia Championship Wrestling broadcast where it had, I think it was like Ric Flair and Bob Backlund in the Omni, and it's like, wow. I think at one time also it was Harley and Bob Backlund in Florida. I think they did a couple matches, one in Florida, one in Atlanta. Um, it's like some trusty people there, huh? Back in those days. But those days, of course, is when uh, Vince Senior, ev- Vince Senior, from what I could tell, was real friendly towards the territories. Um, don't want to get on a soapbox if you want to really hear a deep dive on that soapbox. Uh, listen to some of those old promoters like Bill Watts and Ron Fuller. Basically, you know, Vince Senior would kind of use the territories as almost a feeder system. As you know, I think Bill Watts told like a story. It's like, well, I need Stan Hansen. I want to do a program with Stan Hansen and Bruno. And of course, he can. Bill Watts couldn't pay the money that Stan Hansen could earn, especially working with Bruno Sammartino at that time. And he didn't probably didn't know how much more money he made because of a little slip. And he turned it to a big angle. But he had he had on he was the promoter, I guess, agent for Andre the Giant in sort of a way. So, and Andre was a huge drawing. Uh, was attraction. So I won't have Stan Hansen, but look, treat you good. I'll let Andre go down there for a couple weeks, draw you some money till it, so the loss of Hansen wouldn't be that big of a financial hit. Give you Andre for 2 weeks. So, but would that work today? Probably would. I mean, I don't think it's nearly as cutthroat as it is. I think there'll be just a lot of bickering. Basically, today, if you did see, say, John Moxley against Jay Uso or John Moxley against now the WWE undisputed champion John Cena, it probably would be like a time limit draw or something. Be not going to be a definite winner unless WWE bought AEW out or something. Anyway, let's see. Also on this date, 1975, Robert Fuller and Bob Armstrong won the NWA Georgia Tag Team Championship from the Assassin and Toru Tanaka in Atlanta. On this date in 1977, Nick Gulas draws only 484 people to the Mid South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. The main event was Jackie Fargo defeating Russian Stomper to win the Central States title. I think this is basically Jerry Jarrett was in his promotion, especially with Lawler, pretty much pushing the Gulas promotion uh, out of Memphis. On this date in 1981, speaking of Memphis, on the CWA Memphis, Tennessee wrestling show, Kevin Sullivan defeated Dutch Mantel to win the TV title. Of course, this is when Kevin Sullivan was getting really big into bodybuilding. I think he had teamed with Tony Atlas in Georgia, and Tony Atlas kind of, uh, hello, Joe King, listening and eating. What are y'all eating tonight? This is when Kevin Sullivan was into that bodybuilding type deal. You see right there, dude's freaking shredded. Um, I think he did do a couple bodybuilding um, competitions, but it was I think he even said it's kind of like it was like an independent, you not a big competition type deal. Right. On this date in 1987, the first annual Eddie Graham Memorial show took place at St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Bayfront Center. Taco Bell. Worked all day on the island, and y'all went to Taco Bell. Taco Bell? Ugh. Taco Bell for real? Don't y'all at least have some kind of authentic taco place close to where y'all live? Not Taco Bell tacos. And trust me, I actually did have Taco Bell recently. They're not that good. That was one of those kind of in a I forgot what town I was in. I think it was up in South Carolina. Uh, hey, I'm going to eat spaghetti late tonight. Could have ate 7 tacos. I had tacos last week. I would have. Sorry, I'm got off subject again. Sorry, folks. Um, I was actually going to go Monday night to a Mexican restaurant, but man, everybody was packed. Packed. Of course, it was Cinco de Mayo, and they're always Cinco. But um, I think I was still up in South Carolina. I was driving around trying to find a place to eat. Taco Bell was the only place not busy, and it wasn't like McDonald's. I think I'm boycott McDonald's not because they had bad service or anything like that. It's one of those deals where last few times I've had McDonald's, it was ick. So yeah, I just and I think there I just got like got soft shell and hard shell and frozen cheese. That was it. Nope. I'd be ordering tacos from and picking it up, if I had a choice. By the way, uh, I forgot you were off today, when I sent that text earlier. Of course, no rush. Anyway, back on this date in 1987, the first ever Eddie Graham Memorial Show took place. We had the fabulous one, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, defeated the Mod Squad, Spike and Basher, the Squad Brothers. I think I talked about that 2 weeks ago. It was a long time before I realized they were actually brothers. Anyway, Barry Windham and Ed the Bull Gantner, may he rest in peace, defeated Dory Funk Jr. and Samu. Samu was Fat Two's partner in the Samoan SWAT team slash head shrinkers. Mike Rotunda defeated Kevin Sullivan. Of course, Mike Rotunda was or at this point, was a NWA Florida heavyweight champion, successfully defending his championship against Kevin Sullivan, Rick Rude, and Manny Fernandez. Uh, Was one considered this one of those tag teams that were kind of underrated, but I think it's just because Rude by himself was just kind of erased the fact that he was an actual NWA World Tag Team Champion. In other words, his singles run surpassed his tag, brief tag team run here with Manny Fernandez. Anyway, they went up against the Road Warriors for the NWA World Tag Team titles, but it ended in a double disqualification. Freaking look how badass the Road Warriors were at that time too. Those shoulder pads look awesome. The paint scheme. I think what was it, a year later, Animal will take one of those spikes off and drive it into Dusty's eyes. Speaking of Dusty Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes successfully defended his NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Ric Flair. Of course, this was in that period where this is Dusty's third and final reign as the NWA World Champion. On this date in 1988 at the Mid South Coliseum, drawing 8,000 people, we had Brickhouse Brown defeat Ken Wayne, Scott Steiner and Mark Starr defeated Doug and Tommy Gilbert, Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond, Bad Company, defeated Billy Joe Travis and Tom Brandy, the Cuban Assassins defeated Ron and Don Harris, Mike Graham and Steve Kern defeated Max Payne and Gary Young, Jeff Jarrett battled Robert Fuller to a double disqualification. Bill Dundee defeated Eddie Gilbert via countout. And, of course, you see right there that big poster, that big main event. This was the night that Jerry Lawler finally, finally became the AWA World Heavyweight Champion. Beat Kurt Hennig that night. Uh, I even think, excuse me, I even think they had I think that's Scott Steiner right there, a white T-shirt. He was jacked in. But I think it was one of those where if I remember correctly. I think Jerry Lawler was even saying, "Hey, if I don't beat Kurt Hennig this night, I'm going to retire." Uh, but he had Jackie Fargo was a special referee, worst main event count in history. I mean, people knew at that time. This crowd just knew. They heard a 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 uh, count from Jackie Fargo. It was, they started like popping at count number 2. Didn't really, do his finisher or anything, not the pile driver, just did one of those catapult things where they grab 2 legs and, uh, kinda catapult them against turnbuckle, but Kurt Hennig overshot it. I think you see 100 times these days, except for this was a that's how they finished the match. He, uh, he shot himself to the post, hit his head on the post, knocked himself out. Uh, they was like, "Oh, I guess Darren Lawler didn't know his own strength." Lawler covered him 1, 2, 3, and that's how he became the AWA World Champion. It kinda even popped when they showed it on Memphis next week. Of course, I wasn't in Memphis. Alright, in 1994 at the Mid-South Coliseum, Brian Christopher defeated Doug Gilbert for the USWA title in a hair versus title match. Of course, Brian Christopher. And on this date in 1999, WCW presented Slamboree pay-per-view at the St. Louis, Missouri, TWA Dome on 20,516 people. In the dark match, Dale Korberg, became the Kiss Demon, uh, basically dressed him up like Gene Simmons for Kiss, the makeup, all that. He defeated Johnny Swinger. Raven and Saturn defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. and Billy Kidman. Yes, that's Rey Mysterio there without his mask, as well as Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit in a triangle match to win the WCW World Tag Team Championship. Conan defeated Stevie Ray because suckers need to know. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Brian Knobs in a hardcore match. Rick Steiner defeated Booker T to win the WCW TV title. Gorgeous George defeated Little Nate, Charles Robinson. Why I unfortunately remember that, it is what it is. WCW US champion Scott Steiner defeated Buff Bagwell. Roddy Piper defeated Ric Flair by disqualification. Sting and Bill Goldberg went to a no contest. And in the main event, Kevin Nash defeated Diamond Dallas Page to win the WCW World title. And that concludes our Today in Wrestling History. Not a lot. A few little memories here and there. God, I can't believe somebody went. I mean, Taco Bell is still popular. I mean, I hear people go to Taco Bell all the time. I am not one of them. Not big on the burn. Hopefully, we can get some memories going. People in here. So, yes, for our watch along tonight, we're gonna go to watch some Continental from. I believe it's yes, October 4th of 1986. Uh, some Had a pretty good roster at this time. Really good roster. Go ahead, post a link up on the chat on YouTube and post a link on oh, nine. And if you guys are ready, myself ready. I hear tomorrow's gonna be a Just rain. Oh, I take it you're kinda ready, but you'll you'll need me to do commentary? Oh, I mean, actually trying to do commentary, which will be not I used to do pretty good when, when I was a little foggy in the room and or I, had a little say more than one of these friends to get together, play No Mercy or one of the wrestling games on N64. Uh, I do my own commentary. Sometimes in Japanese too. So sit there and watch somebody go on top rope. Um, and just make up. So anyway, going to start this thing off here. Do a countdown, push play, and away we go. So in four, three, two, press play now. We don't get no interest here. We just get Corn Solid, as a rundown what's going on tonight. So I guess that's the main event. Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golan against the Bullet, and Steve Armstrong. Should be a main event anywhere in the country. Should would probably gonna be a good match. So you definitely want to check that one out. So yes, he's talking about the Singapore suicide match, which basically I forgot I know it's a New Guinea headhunters, managed by Kevin Sullivan. And I think I had Kevin Sullivan with him three, and I think it's four of them against Scott, Steve, Brad, and I believe it was Brad Armstrong, Scott, Steve, Brad, and the Bullet. I think that's who it was. And basically, to win the match, you got to cause an injury to all four of your opponents. A match I don't think we've ever. I was trying to find it. I was trying to see if they had it next week or whatever. I do remember that as a brutal freaking match. Um, now we got the first match on here. I think that's Nick Patrick doing a ring introduction. But this young whippersnapper guys coming in, do believe they're from the Midwest, Midwest Tag Team Champions, a dozen times or so. I'm making that up. Now we have the Guinea Headhunters managed by Kevin Sullivan. and basically, uh, kinda like the Wild Samoans, just a rough, tough team, savage, and like Gordon says, they're wasting no time beating these, whippersnappers here, these ham and eggers. Kevin Sullivan there putting the stomps on one of them. Now, I really don't know what happened to the headhunters after their I can if I can look it up. See, they were tag team yeah, there's going to Old Faithful Wikipedia. Wink, wink. Um, no, nobody knows whatever happened to these New Guinea headhunters. But they were there, had a little bit of a run, then disappeared. Guess everybody thought, hey, enough Samoan type tag teams. Just double headbutt. Samoan drop. Come in. Yep. Tag. Slingshot swan dive. There we go. Shit. Well, I guess swan dive headbutt. Warren said, well, it did look like he hit him with the head more than body. Usually that was Rick Martel. Rick Martel used that as a finisher by himself and with tag team, like Tito Santana and Strike Force and no, oh, it was on to smack the referee. It was on asking for not asking for any fucks and not giving a fuck. See, that's what WWE now needs now. They need that kind of anti-hero type person in their tag because it's Netflix now. Well, it's got to be on Raw. Um, that's the tagline. No fucks given, whoever. No fucks given, Braun Strowman. Okay. Oh, the Buddha Dean. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Buddha Dean. They tied him to the tree of woe. Headhunter's not that tall. I mean, Sullivan was probably around 5'9", 5'10", at least when you read the magazines. Uh, Crowds waking up. Dude's freaking tall. Like what did we look at one time? Like 6'9", 6'10". I mean, that's Ron Fuller, the original Tennessee stud, the older brother of Robert Fuller, the human jump rope. Oh, Kevin Sullivan trying to do the Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. Uh, oh, the CIA or somebody. I mean, he just towers over everybody. Oh, Mr. Tom Pritchard there, Robert Fuller, and legitimately, Robert Fuller and Ron Fuller brothers. Jimmy Golden is legitimately their cousin. So they was still trying to run shows in Knoxville at this time. So yeah, there's a. I guess I had problems with people wanting to fight at the podium, so therefore they came up with a new rule: you start a fight at the podium, you get suspended, and Tennessee Tennessee stud Ron Fuller gets suspended. And what was it in WCW? Was it if anybody knows the complete story? I think even Brad talked about it in some interview where he had Kevin Owens was playing around and actually accidentally hit him in the car with a car. Was it Sullivan or who we two? Oh, Zane Smith. Oh, actually, uh, strike that. That's Freddie Miller doing the ring announcing. Oh, Freddie Miller. He was the guy who, if you watched George Championship Wrestling at the time, or 6 years prior to this, 7 maybe, when they announced the cards at the Omni, he was one guy who said, "Be there." Rip Rogers. So yes, for those younger fans, that is Rip Rogers. He was a trainer. I think he's still a trainer at OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling. Helped train Batista, Randy Orton, finished training John Cena. Called Brent a Fleabag, not called Brenda Britton a Fleabag. Oh, so yeah, that Zane Smith, he was there trying to separate people, but they're like, "Hey, please don't hit me or hurt me too bad, because I gotta wrestle the next match." I gotta get me some britches like that. Oh, Gordon with that deadpan little sense of humor there. Don't not refer her to Fleabag. All right, Zane Smith, a full-time All-American in chess, study at the uh, South Birmingham Technical. Oh, my bad. He hails from the Midwest, but uh, Kansas State Technical College, where he was a full-time All-America in chess, won championships in some wrestling before he became in the pro ranks. And brother, he is getting a lesson here from the hustler. Rick Ross. Now that was, like Gordon said, that was a full body slam, not a half body slam, not a three-quarter body slam, not a 1 and 2/3 body slam. That was a full body slam. Now, come on, you can pin the guy. There's no reason to pull him up by the hair. Not sleep on this kid, like I said. Uh, a multi-time uh, Kansas State University thumb wrestling champion. Don't let the 12-time All American in chess fool you. Surprised we're not seeing any of those uh, thumb wrestling moves match, but he had a chance to. Looked like he was going for one there, but there's that flea bag. Oops, excuse me, Britain, Brenda Britain. All the all the moves in the repertoire of Rip Rogers, he goes choke. Of course, as a legal move. Oh, missed that drop kick. He rolls him up. This could be it. Boston Crab, and that is it. And I said, hey, not today. We go ahead. Well, didn't tap out, but that uncle conceded. Speaking of legends, here we go. Adrian Street with a Southeastern Championship painted pink with Miss Linda. I remember see the sunglasses that Adrian Street's wearing. I used to see the Midnight Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Barney Jannetty wear sunglasses like that, and I've seen them in like '80s movies and stuff like that. But I always wanted a pair of sunglasses like that. I still do. I wouldn't wear them all the time, but oh, yeah, that's automatic heat. We're throwing hands right there. We ain't doing that. Yes, that would back in that day that'll bring the fans over the Bears. Hell, was it late 2000s, early 2010 maybe? Went to a show in Canton, Georgia, or LJ, Georgia, at a little flea market auction thing, whatever. And a guy was didn't smack her a little bit, but he was like that was like his ballet with her, whatever. And kept pulling her hair and kept telling her what to do and stuff like that. And fans did not like that one bit. Friday, October 17th, Knoxville, Tennessee. And if you listen to there's 2 people who you listen to now who shoot interviews, and you sit there and think, it's like, how were they able to give promos back in those days? Like, Rip Rogers kinda just letting it rip there. Very good, very smoothly. Set got his point across without using the word "fuck." And if you've ever seen a Rip Rogers shoot interview, he likes to use that a lot. He use that word a lot. Like Jim Cornette is like, listen to him on in his shoot interviews now than listen to him back in the day give promos is like, how come not once a F-bomb just slipped out? So for people who like to, I mean, that could be for those people who got a lot of time on their hands and can find like Easter eggs in movies and stuff like that, or just somewhat in. Sometimes I can accidentally see things, um, but maybe if somebody's got plenty of time on their hands can go back and try to watch every Jim Cornette promo, wrestling promo, not on shooter reviews, but wrestling promo, and see if he ever dropped a F bomb. And there's another trainer of champions, Dr. Tom Pritchard. And not sure what. See, I know him and Continental Steve Pritchard, Tom Pritchard, and Scott Armstrong had like a little feud over the U.S. Championship, and part of that feud was who had a better super kick. Of course, his was more of a what do they call it? Uh, what do they call it a different kick now, but they call it his version of super kick. Of course, Armstrong did the regular super kick. Enziguri, yeah, they call it Enziguri now. See, sometimes it pops in my head later. Yes, Jerry Stubbs, former Mr. Olympia, or Mass Wrestler, Mr. Olympia, uh, his opponent, of course, Wildcat Wendell Cooley coming out to Hank Williams Jr.'s, if having a lot like Dixie. I think, as far as my memory is concerned, I think this is first guy that came up to a Hank Williams Jr. song. Of course, Jerry Stubbs was Mr. Olympia. Arn Anderson was under a mask at one time as Super Olympia. They got on a mask, and they pretty good tag team, Jerry Stubbs and Arn Anderson. Then Arn Anderson went to Mid Atlantic, and the rest is history for him. He kind of stayed around Continental. I don't think he ever went back to Mid South or UWF at this point. And I don't know what the heck kind of wig this is. Now, Win Cooley did have a cup of coffee in WCW at one point. Um, and he, I think him and Frankie Lancaster had a pretty much a, was enhancement talent one time in the WWF for like one match. I got who against. Might be against the Bushwhackers, something like that. But he would kind of float between here and Memphis, or when USA Pro Wrestling or Ron Fuller. Of course, he was a former one half the Mid South Tag Team Champions with Al Perez. Like I said, sure why Cooley never made it to Jim Crockett Promotions, or I can kind of understand not WWF, but at least Crockett Promotions. I guess he was making decent living at the time, going between Memphis sometimes and more Continental. I think the first time I seen him was in Continental. He did short stint too. Well, not a short stint. He did spend a while in uh, Southeastern Texas All Star, uh, being the brother of Scott Casey. Called himself Rick Casey at the time. Called himself Rick Casey when he first came into Memphis. In his last little run in Memphis, he said uh, he'd already kind of made a name for himself. He's better known as Wildcat Wendell Cooley by that time. By the time his last run in Memphis, so he just went on TV one day. It's like, of course, this wasn't a shoot thing. Where I don't think he's really wasn't really Scott Casey's brother anyway. But said, got a call from his mom and said, she's very proud of him for uh, making a name for yourself. And so he told Lance Russell, was like, yeah, I kind of did make a name for myself. So as right now, can we? Of course, not word for word said, but he said, can we? Pretty much said, can we drop the Rick Casey and introduce myself as now Wildcat Wendell Cooley? That's a name I kind of made for myself around the world at the time. But and that is Tony Anthony doing the uh, color commentary. Uh, Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony. Him and Jerry Stubbs were pretty good tag team in Continental. At one time, Jerry Styles was probably one of the I mean, of course, he had that Mr. Olympia gimmick going, so he was probably one of the, better in shape guys around at one time. Here he's kinda, not really totally let go at this time, but you kinda tell he's kinda gained some, extra bulk. Of course, this is one of those things about the, Hogan era, everybody had their Hulk up moments, which I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan was the first one. Yeah. Definitely need yeah, one time Jerry Styles, like I said, was freaking jacked, but yeah, they both had that same hairdo, wore that same type of hat when they were a tag team. Oh, now it's kind of Pierce. Oh, he bulldog right on the concrete floor. Yeah, yeah. Clothesline. You didn't see that coming? Oh, you can't say that no more. Pearl Harbored him and stole the belt. See, look at there. That's how you sell it. You got Bulldog on the concrete floor, went face first. He's not moving, potentially injured. Billy just got the shit close out of him a couple times. And I think that's Roy Lee Welch, the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion. The king of wrestling, Roy Lee Welch. Of course, hence the last name Welch. He is, I think, another cousin of Ron and Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golden. That's a crown, by golly. One of my favorite ring entrance music was this one, "All Hell's Breaking Loose" by Kiss. Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, Continental Tag Team Champions with Dr. Tom Pritchard. Yes, that is George Thorogood's "Bad to the Bone." At least one, at least one person in every territory had at least to that song. Sometimes it was heels, but in this case, it was the baby faces. The bullet coming out to that song. Uh-oh, now that's usually a disqualification. Oh, there's Kevin Sullivan. Him and Tom Pritchard arguing. There's the Nagiti Headhunters attack Tom Pritchard. And the Headhunters Kevin Sullivan just beating the hell out of everybody. Ain't they? So you got a turn there. You got pretty much Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden turning babyface. Of course, you can kind of tell that when they attacked his brother Robert uh, Robert Fuller Robert Fuller's brother Ron. There comes Big Ron. And Ammonium, the Super Bowl of wrestling. They get their rematch. Bowl. Brad against Kevin Sullivan. Looks like a hell of a card. Jaw jacking, head stomping. Like I said, that's one tall freaking dude. Um, Towards the end, 47-28. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Corn calling 5'8", which is probably more legit than 5'10". Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I sent you the further video. That's it. We got new Continental Tag Team Champions. Had a kind of a turn there with Robert Fuller. Jimmy Golden and Tom Pritchard. But man, I mean, I don't know if you people watching, you can definitely tell. It was action packed from the start to beginning. I mean, you're gonna have your promos, but not the long winded promos and stuff like that. But um, good matches, some decent squash matches. Uh, a match you would probably see in the arenas. You know, you got to see that Jerry Stubbs against Wendell Cooley. That was kind of used to basically start a new program between Wendell Cooley and Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony. But definitely uh, tell why that's probably one of my favorite promotions back in the day. Like I said, you can't really say too many bad things about any of them. But yeah, like I said, that's definitely one of my favorites. I like to go back. You know, even today, I like to go back and watch. Figure out one to watch next week. I'll find something. But yeah, I yeah, because you always had a good roster with Continental. You always had especially at this point, you had Kevin Sullivan with a tag team. Like I said, what happened to them after this run, I have no idea. I think that might have went to Puerto Rico or something like that. You had Kevin Sullivan there doing the Kevin Sullivan thing. You had, of course, the Armstrongs there. Um, Brad Armstrong didn't wrestle on this week's program, but his dad and brother did. Short match though. But that was basically to you know kind of used to start put Jimmy Golden, Robert Fuller in that program with the Kevin Sullivan and the Eugenie Headhunters. Um, young Tom Pritchard, like I said, I think him and Glenn Jacobs, Kane, yeah, anyone that had Brad on, yeah. He was a Continental Champion at the time, but he didn't wrestle on this week's program. Um, obviously. Uh, then you had Rip Rogers. Like I said, he went on to train some of the big names in wrestling as well. Heck of a talented guy. Knew how like I said, it kind of astonishes me that uh, that he can sit there and cut a promo without dropping an F bomb. Because he definitely likes dropping them F bombs when he's doing regular interviews and stuff like that, like shoot interviews. That he likes dropping them consistently. I made a funny statement one time. It's like, yeah, when I first broke into the business, uh, was well advised by the veterans. It's like, hey, save your money, save your money, save your money. Well, I did save all my money, and I'm still broke. Uh, which I mean, I don't think he was one of these contractor wrestlers or anything like that. Wasn't one of the big money contract wrestlers. But he did. I mean, he did have a long time where he was one of the enhancement talents of WCW for a long time. Basically, that's when territories were gone, dead. Or if he wrestled for Smoky Mountain or not. Yeah, it was for a short time as well. I probably was kinda tail end of his career. Good roster there. Uh, and it kinda keeps you it got stuff that kinda keeps your attention with that. And see, you don't and this is why I kinda hate to do it, but I'm gonna do it, I say every week. Um, it's something I mean, 'cause they start to do smaller buildings, and this is a way they can be grounded a little bit. But you don't have to be WWF like with the backstage sketches sketches and stuff like that, or the long-winded, in-ring promos. I mean, you try to shove a whole lot there in a 2-hour period. I mean, you still do that, but, uh, ha have you got kinda like this, have you gotta have a match, catch his breath a little bit, then, sit out there with Tony and whoever and say, "Well, come whatever the next their pay-per-view is," which, today I kinda well, I didn't kinda I did it. I canceled Sling and got Max. Seen, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max, had a little bundle deal where I could get 'em, like, after tax and everything, maybe a little over, 30 bucks a month. I think Sling, uh, uh, both if you got like, the blue and the yellow, blue and orange, whatever, it was $70 or something like that. I guess $50 just for one of the, blue or a red one, or blue or orange one. That was just 50 bucks. Just save myself 20 bucks and get Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max. Max usually has some good stuff. Disney Plus, as long as you watch the older stuff, some of the new TV shows they have on there. But, now I have Max, like good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Uh, well, folks, it's getting by that time a little bit to cut short on before they cut me off. Uh, go ahead and uh, end it here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate everybody tuning in on Facebook Live. Appreciate everybody tuning in on YouTube as well. Like I said, don't forget to follow me on follow me on Facebook, subscribe to YouTube. Doing both. It's fun because um, usually my usually I advertise have do video out like my recap videos or trivia Tuesday show. Usually advertise it on uh, Facebook anyway. So you can see that's up on there. Up back on YouTube. I'm just babbling now. Getting a little tired. You know how old folks get. Always talk about Taco Bell. Taco about ta- Taco about Taco Bell. Uh, but no, I'm not having not today. Wish there were a Del Taco close to me. But anyway, appreciate like I said again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Go up here next week. for Wrestling Gold Friday night. Folks, take it easy. Have a good one. Till next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Ronald Ray here saying thank you for checking out my video. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and share this video with family and friends. I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to RP2 Vision, where I cover the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. Now, don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified when my other weekly content is available, like Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, WWE Raw Recap, and AEW Dynamite Recap. I also have 2 live streams. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., it's Spot Show Live Stream, where I discuss the latest news in professional wrestling. And on Friday nights at 8 o'clock p.m., it's Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where I discuss the good old days of professional wrestling. When wrestling was wrestling, wrestling was real because it's still real to us. Folks, have a good one and take it easy.